Paranormal activity is increasing throughout our world, and new phenomena are being reported regularly. In this programme, paranormal investigators Jackie Dennison and Steve Furlong, together with parapsychologist Cal Cooper, will strive to lift the veil of mystery which hides the other side.
This one here I've got from a guy called Edward in London.
Right.
He sent some wedding photographs away. They've just been returned to him, and 3 of the people on the photos couldn't possibly have been there. They're all relatives who live abroad.
Oh, crikey. That's interesting, isn't it?
He says he's very puzzled. Can we help?
There's one here that I've been looking at, and this is Jane, and she lives in Nottingham. And she thinks she may have seen a highwayman actually going past her property, and she's seen things on a couple of occasions. So, you know, that's a local sort of myth that we could probably check into. I mean, has she actually seen that, or is there something else?
Yeah.
I mean, this one I thought was quite interesting because it has got a myth attached to it, but certainly it seems maybe people have experienced something recently. It's from a lady called Jan. She's the landlady of a pub in Cheshire. And it's over 600 years old. There's a myth and legend attached of a nun called Ida as well. She was supposedly buried at the altar in the local abbey.
Oh, it sounds good, doesn't
Whereabouts is it?
It's called the Knight's Grange in Cheshire.
Oh, yeah.
Parapsychologist Cal meets Jan Mundy, who sent in the letter asking the team to investigate the myth of Ida the Nun at Knight's Grange. The local historian Anne Jones is here to shed some light on the pub's history.
This is a fabulous place. I mean, the history, we're going over 600 years. It was first taken up by the monks of Vale Royal Abbey, and it was a grange, which meant that it was a working farm, and it's been a farm up until quite recently.
Could you tell me about some of the things you've heard or seen for yourself?
Well, apparently there's a nun that sits in the main bar, which is just through there.
Okay.
She sits at the main seat in there. A couple of weeks ago, a bell rang, you know, the time bell, that just rang on its own. Nobody was near it, and there was about half a dozen people in the bar that actually witnessed it, and then it was just swinging back in two. There's been a face at the window, which is actually a picture, which is a room upstairs.
Oh, wow.
And that's supposed to be a nun as well.
But I also heard something with the pool table as well.
That's it. Apparently the pool balls have moved on their own. That's not something I've witnessed again, but, you know, other people, you know, a lot of stories go around, and, you know, it's been a pub for a while now, so. There's also a door knocker that's in the lounge. It's very old, and apparently if you knock 3 times, it'll summon Ida, the nun.
There's certainly a lot of things going on, and I'll have to keep on checking in with you on the rest of the investigation, but I think I'll go meet up with Steve Furlong and Jackie Dennison and see what they come up with.
Okay, see you later.
Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you
welcome.
later.
Thank you.
Jackie and Steve are clairvoyants, mediums and teachers, and they hope to find evidence of the paranormal activity reported at Knight's Grange.
Well, this is the room where I think Jan had said that she'd seen the nun sitting down on one of the benches. I think it was over there. So maybe we should try and see if we can...
Try and see if we make a connection
with
the nun,
with her, yeah. So maybe we should start in here and see how we feel. So, yeah, there's plenty of spirits in here, isn't there? I'm all right. Okay, so, yeah, I think initially the first thing that I feel is a connection not maybe to a nun, but that there is a female presence here. And I only feel that way because of a sound I can hear, which is like a swishing sound, you know, like skirts.
As if somebody's walking through, as if they're, in a long dress.
Yeah. Well, do you know, it's interesting you should say that, because I really have got an overwhelming urge to go in there, because I think we're being watched. It's almost as if
I can feel that, from the far end of the room, yeah.
In the early stages of the investigation, Jackie has sensed the presence of a woman.
Let's go back through there.
Is this Ida?
I think there's also, I feel that there's a gentleman's energy here as well. And I think he's the one that's been watching us whilst we've been in the other area.
Yeah.
Um,
There is definitely somebody stood there.
yeah, but he's not stepping forward at the moment.
No.
I'm asking him to, but he's not stepping
No.
forward. He's just stepping back and watching what we're doing at the
Yeah,
moment.
he's keeping his eye on us, isn't
Yeah.
he?
I think he feels it's quite a strong positive energy, and he's keeping an eye on us. So perhaps it's him that keeps an eye on the bar and the unusual activity that's happened in the bar. Maybe down to him, but we'll have to try and find that out of him later.
Okay, we'll see what happens as the night progresses.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The group
There
now
is a
moved to the
different energy.
lounge area,
Yeah.
which was once part of the original farmhouse. Is the ghost of Ida in here?
It feels as if there's an oven, a fire, and an oven, but it doesn't make any sense. Why would they have two ovens and a fire at the end of the house? I don't.
Jackie and Steve try to connect with the energy by using psychometry.
Well, I know that there is a connection here with nuns, but I can see nuns, but in a different respect, not just in a religious aspect, but from a hospital point of view.
Oh,
Like
right.
First World War,
Oh,
sort of that sort of era.
Mhm.
that's a completely different era than what we've had before,
yeah.
isn't it?
But I just get the feeling there was some sort of medical treatment, whether it was here or connected to the nuns that are connected here.
Right,
Um,
right.
but saw them in a grey-blue, I don't know what you call it, surplus habit.
That wouldn't connect to Ida though, because that's Ida the nun. That's who we're investigating, isn't it? Because that would be the wrong time frame. So I wonder if it's the same order. I wonder if that's the
Perhaps
order
that's the
that she was
connection, yeah,
connected
yeah.
to.
The group now move on to the upstairs rooms at Knight's Grange.
Oh, some
An
people-
original wall has been exposed in this room, protected by a glass screen.
Cobwebs, aren't they?
It'd be a huge spider.
I wonder if that would encourage someone to come forward, with it being
With it being
as
an
it
original
was.
section.
Yeah. Worth a try, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just sit and send our thoughts out. I've got a name of Margaret.
Margaret. Okay.
Margaret. I don't know if that's her name or someone that connects to here.
Do you feel like she's connected?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I feel she's connected to here.
Okay.
I don't know if this woman made butter. I've got like a butter churn, so I don't know whether that's my imagination because I've got the connection with the cows,
yeah.
or whether that's something else that I'm picking up. I wonder if there is a connection with here, with farm. I mean, it would be the fields, it would be farming, wouldn't it, anyway, but
They had a buttery.
I wonder if they did.
Buttery.
I still feel we're being watched though. I think there's a gentleman that's following us around, that's
Definitely.
watching us,
Yeah.
and he seems to have been wherever we've been. You're aware of him, just like he would be just over there.
Okay.
Well, we've not come across Ida the nun though yet, have we? Other than
No.
the nuns that you'd connected with.
Yeah, which I don't. I think they're certainly from the wrong time frame, aren't they? For it to be
Yeah.
Ida. Should we try another?
Spirits
Yeah.
appear to be
Somewhere else,
following
yeah.
the group. Jackie and Steve
Yeah,
are
watch your head.
trying to encourage them to come forward.
Go on, duck.
Yeah, don't.
You had the guy still the sense that he was walking around. Is his presence to you guys, do you feel that stronger in here? Can you begin to even see any features of this guy? Who is he, where he's from, an age, a time period?
No, not at the moment. Do you know what I have got though? And as soon as you started to talk about him, I could feel it. It's just like a really sharp pain.
In your left shoulder.
Yeah.
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 Well, I thought
Yeah,
it was
I
me. I just had a pain in my left
In your
shoulder
left
at the same
shoulder,
time.
yeah. It
Yeah.
just felt as though it went right the way through. I
Yeah,
don't know if it's like a...
like a stabbing
like a
pain right in
stabbing
the corner.
pain.
Yeah.
And you've just had that
It's
as
the same
well?
thing, yeah.
Oh, great. As soon as you started to... As soon as you mentioned that, I literally felt it was like a pain going right the way through.
Okay.
But the name Margaret again.
Margaret,
Yeah.
You keep getting that name.
I've had
don't
it a
you? So,
couple of
yeah,
times
yeah.
now. Yeah. Other than that, not a lot.
Okay. I think we should move on unless you want to have a
Yeah.
nap first.
The name Margaret
Yeah,
has
that
been
was
heard
good.
again
All
by
right.
Jackie.
Let's move on.
Better keep going.
Is this the female spirit
Right.
that is following them?
I keep getting the image of a fire.
A fire?
There's a huge fire.
Oh.
It just popped up out of nowhere. I could just see huge flames.
Well, this place being on fire?
Here.
On
yeah.
this land or this place?
I'm not sure whether it's this building or what was here before,
Oh, right.
but here. And it was huge.
Earlier in the day,
Right.
CCTV cameras had been set up by the crew to observe and record any paranormal activity in the building.
Sat there. What have you got so far?
We've been watching the cameras for some time, haven't we, today? So
We've seen quite a lot of activity in camera number 2.
That's in that corridor, isn't it? Yeah.
Floating around.
Yeah,
We're not
that's
sure whether it's
right.
dust or what really.
yeah.
And that we saw, was it like a circle?
Mm-hmm.
A circular thing here had a centre to it that seemed to float there and then
And
Disappeared.
just disappeared, didn't it? And then later on in the day,
Was the
like,
light
activity
anomaly
seems to have moved
Ida,
to this
Margaret,
camera number
or
one.
some other spirit?
Yeah.
floating over.
Something that you've seen you can't explain, going from the corridor
Yeah.
from camera 2 into that
Yeah.
room number 1, camera 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Keep an eye out for anything new.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Thank you.
The peculiar thing about this room, I think, is that section of the wall doesn't seem to fit. Again, I know that obviously the ceiling's been hired, but that doesn't seem to fit at
No.
all. I can see.
When I put my hands like that before, I felt as though I could see a lot of hands, female hands, and I felt as though that they were doing something. They were going like this.
A long time ago, they used to have spinning wheels and stuff. And do you think it was spinning or weaving? Or
It could be something like it's doing something. Is it something pulling something or doing something like that? But definitely not cows.
No, definitely not milking
No.
cows. No.
No.
I feel that there is that even though I know this is very old, but it still doesn't fit here.
No.
I don't feel that was put there originally. I
Okay.
feel like it's been brought from somewhere else and made to fit. Do you hear the same thing
Yeah.
then?
What did you hear?
Somebody walking up here.
What, you heard clear footsteps?
Footsteps.
Yeah, footsteps in the corridor.
But like the carpet's not there and like it's wood. So somebody's walking along.
Tap, tap, tap.
Tap,
yeah.
tap, tap, tap.
Nobody there now.
No? Is there a
Jackie
male
and Steve
spirit
now use
presence in this room?
pendulums in their investigations to aid spirit communication.
No, that's a no. So I'm getting, it's a female presence. There is a female presence.
Okay.
Ask them something about drowning. I feel there's a connection to drowning
Oh,
here.
really?
Yeah, I feel there's somebody who's just sinking in water. And it's peculiar because you would expect somebody that was drowning to be struggling to get back up out of the water. And I
Right.
just feel as if somebody's just sinking and sinking deeper and deeper and deeper without putting up any fight whatsoever.
Like a suicide or something?
There's no sort of reaction at all. It's as if the person's just sinking straight down without any. I assume there must be either. I assume they must be unconscious when they went in the water.
We're still being watched there, you know.
Is it this guy again?
Yeah,
or
it's
whatever you heard
no,
walking?
it's no, because the female that was walking is in here.
Okay.
There's a male that's stood there. That's the same male that has been watching us the whole time we've been here. That's the male thing that connects with that pain in the shoulder,
yeah.
and something to do with here as well.
Yeah.
What could be, because we are looking into the investigation of the nun,
Mm-hmm.
we might have a series of different things that people have seen
And attributed them.
and
to the
attribute, yeah,
because the myth of Ida the nun,
Yeah.
automatically they see something, they assume
Yeah.
that it's Ida the nun, whereas it's lots of different activities.
Yeah. Yeah. But is Ida the nun here?
I don't know.
I haven't seen her.
Is there more to be gained from this room, or shall we?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
Come on then, let's go.
Okay.
So guys, we've
Carl, Jackie and Steve meet Jan Mundy and Anne Jones at the bar to discuss the night's
What was the
events.
most prominent thing for you throughout the time that we've been here?
Well, we've experienced quite a few energies. A male energy, a female energy, that we think connect together. But whether that's Ida the nun, we're not quite sure yet. Yeah.
We think we may have encountered some nuns, but we don't think it's Ida.
Thank you, Jan, for having us here. We've really enjoyed ourselves, and we'll let you know what we eventually find out.
Right, thank you.
Jackie and Steve now meet with Carl and the historian Anne to review their findings and match these to historical records.
Knight's Grange was like a hotel
Oh.
for the people that worked on the land, but also for the monks. There's no buildings for them at the abbey, so they're staying there. And the nuns would be coming and feeding them, cleaning them, making the cheese, that sort of thing.
And I think you said there might have been I wonder if there was a butchery.
Yeah, a butchery, yeah.
I don't know if this woman made butter. I've got like a butter churn.
Well, as you walk through the front door of Knight's Grange now, if you go to the left, that was the kitchen and where they made the cheeses. They used to store the cheeses in the room above.
Oh,
Right.
that makes sense.
Do you remember you got
doesn't
that
it?
impression of someone working as well, this continuous hand motion
Yes.
as well at one point?
Yes, that's right, I did. Yeah, it was sort of like, that was upstairs, but it was in another part of the building, wasn't it? It
It
was
did look
the-
like milking, actually, yeah.
He
yeah.
said, "Are you milking?" I was doing this, Anne, with my hands, because I felt as though there were ladies, or I could see female hands doing that. I saw doing something with hands. It's like
Like a repetitive motion over
yes,
and over again.
yeah.
There was a Mr. Starkey who actually had an infantry done, and I think it was in the 1600s, and he had 8 looms.
Spinning.
That's
what we
You
said, innit? Was it spinning? Yeah,
yeah. You said something about the wood in there. Did you said it? You felt it was from
Felt it was from somewhere else.
Somewhere
it didn't
else.
seem to fit with that building, as if it had been imported from another building. I feel that there is that, even though I know this is very old, but it still doesn't fit here.
No.
I don't feel that was put there originally.
Okay.
I feel like it's been brought from somewhere else and made to fit.
There was some cottages that were being pulled down at a place called Over Square, and the wood and other parts of the framework of those cottages were actually transferred to Knight's Grange to make partition walls.
Brilliant.
Hey, you're all right, you aren't you?
Not bad,
You got the
thanks, yeah,
job.
thanks very much.
And you also got about a fire in there. Was there
Yeah.
is there a fire connected, Anne, at all?
I keep getting the image of a fire.
A fire?
There's a huge fire.
Oh.
In 1340, 4 granges caught fire. Knight's Grange was one of them, and it all burnt to the ground, as well as taking away the Dutch barn. A lot of the information that you said about the gentleman and the fact that the name Margaret came through.
But the name Margaret again. Yeah.
I've come up with Samuel Wade and Margaret Wade,
Oh.
W-A-D surname, and they lived at Knight's Grange from 1841. Samuel did, because his mother, Anne Wade, she was the head of the household. She had 3 children, a James, a Hannah, and the younger son, Samuel. Now, before we go any further, we thought it was strange because in the next census, Samuel is the head of the household because his mum is obviously 85. And we thought, well, that's strange because normally it's the oldest son. So we did a bit of digging and we found that the eldest son actually drowned.
No way.
Wow.
No way.
Let's go something about drowning. I feel there's a connection to drowning.
Oh,
here.
really?
Yeah. I feel there's somebody who's just sinking in water.
You kept getting a drowning, didn't you?
yeah.
Wow.
As long as I've given you the right piece of paper,
Oh my
it says
God.
drowning.
Found drowned.
Found drowned. James Wade, male, 57 years, a farmer, found drowned.
Do you know how you were saying you were getting the bad shoulder,
Yes.
pains in the head,
Yeah.
etc.? We've dug out a little report from September the 5th, 1857, the fact that there was a serious accident at Over, and yes, it happened at Knight's Grange.
Ah.
He climbed up the pear tree that was in the garden, and when at some height from the ground, he fell off the boughs and came down with considerable force. I'm reading it as it is because it's quite comical. On examination, it was found that he had several of his ribs were broken and his collarbone was severely injured.
Oh my gosh. It's just like a really sharp pain.
In your left shoulder?
Yeah.
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 Well, I thought
Yeah,
it
I
was
think-
me. I just had a pain in the left
In
shoulder
your
at
left
the same
shoulder.
time.
Yeah.
So just to finish the Wade story off completely, we've not managed to get Samuel's death certificate, but we've got Margaret's death certificate, which she lived to be, let me see, 76.
Right.
Yes, okay, the name of Margaret came through. Yes, the drowning was brought up, and the shoulder pains and so forth. But it was difficult to get surname-specific dates. But you had the stuff in the bottom bar, the swishing noises as well, also hearing the noise of footsteps upstairs, which is a common occurrence in that place. And that's something Jan, I think even in the time we were there, she said she experienced it during the day. And thank you so much for going through all of that. You know, we've still got a long road to travel, but let's continue our journey to the other side.
The group concluded from their investigation that Ida the nun did not haunt the Knight's Grange, and she was probably created to promote the book Ida by John Henry Cook in 1912. The spirits of Samuel and Margaret Wade were present, and Jackie and Steve would like to thank them for their help in making this programme.